What's up, everybody? How's everybody doing today? I am Safety Scissors.
And I'm Duct Tape.
And we're talking about budgets.
So exciting.
Yes. Money.
We were obviously talking about wedding planning, and you know, the big question that every wedding book, I even have a wedding book right here helping me out as like a reference, but like every wedding book's like, okay, first you have to set your budget. And we're like, okay, what's our budget?
$1.
Yeah, we wish. But you think like, what's your budget? And then our first thought was, I don't know. Like, I don't know what's a good amount. I know what I spent the first time, and I know I don't want to get anywhere near that. But it made me start thinking that maybe thinking about how much our budget is a little bit silly for us. Because maybe first what we needed to do was discuss what we want versus what we need. Then figure out what we're willing to spend money on and what we can do without. And I think that's more important than having this is our budget, you know? Because like, I mean, I could say, okay, our budget's $5,000, and then all of a sudden a cat gets sick, or there's a new color of J-Sams that I need to buy. I'm still debating.
A new game comes out. Anything that might distract your budget.
Your budget. That's you. That game is you.
And it's also because we were talking about stuff that we don't want. It's not necessarily like, oh, well, you have to have these things. You know, like you said, want versus need. But it's also, what do we
want versus don't want?
Yeah.
And I know that we did that video where we said what our ideal was and what maybe something that we do not want at the wedding. But we didn't look at this list. And again, I have this like list. Wait, it's too bright, you can't really see it. And I just hit myself in the face with the book. I just wanted to put that out there. But I have this list of things where we started going through it, and we were like, I don't know if I don't think I want that. And then I was like, let's do a vlog so that maybe other people that are struggling with this concept can kind of go along with us and go, okay, so maybe I don't need that, or, you know? So we're gonna go through this list with you guys, and then from there, maybe that will enlighten us to what our approximate budget is. Because I think if you just ask us right now, our budget is as little as we can spend.
And for no other reason than, to me, and I know that we've talked about this, but why spend it all on that one day when you could do it on, you know, a house or, what's the thing after the wedding?
A honeymoon?
That's the one. You know, spend it towards that. You know, why spend it all towards one day? And, you know, everybody's got a different opinion on that.
And if you want to spend all of your money on the day and maybe not do a honeymoon, or maybe you already have a house, that's fine. That's you. We're just discussing what we want, and we would never, ever, ever tell any of you guys that you're not like right for what you want.
I don't think that there is a right way to do this.
Whatever's going to give you guys a wedding that you will remember and love and cherish, that's what's right for you. For us, spending as little as possible is what's right. So let's go through this list. First of all, there's like sample budgets in here from actual weddings. It like shows you what people spend. And I'm like, man, this person spent $6,000 on photography, and then this next person, man, this person spent $300 on photography. I'd like to see the differences in what they received. That's what I'd like to see. Okay, so it starts with attire. Like, what are we planning on spending on attire? My goal, my hope is that one of those $50, I haven't gotten them yet, so I haven't done the video yet, but one of those $50 Shein dresses or something, I'm hoping that one of those is my dress. If it's not, I think I'm willing to spend up to $300. I'm willing to spend up to that, because that's what I would spend on a pair of top shoes. So I feel like maybe that's it.
I'm not going the tux route. What I'm buying is something that I can keep and use later. So I'm hoping to do under 100 easily.
So right now we've got max 400. Okay, that's good. Hair and makeup.
I already have those. Well, at least hair. I don't have makeup.
See this? Maybe a little fluffier. That's how my hair will be. Maybe with dyed roots. That's how my hair will be. Done. $0. Maybe it's what, $6 to dye it? Yes, I box dye. No, I don't care. Can you hold that open? Yeah. So, speaking of hair, my left pigtail is like droopy. There we go.
Get it, pigtail.
And then it says other. I don't really know what other means for attire, but maybe it means like Spanx or something. I guess it's the kind of dress I get.
Shoes?
Shoes? Okay, listen, I might spend a little bit more on shoes than the dress simply because I don't know if I'm going to want a pair of like Demonia platform boots or if I'm going to want to wear tap shoes that cost like $400. But I'll get use out of both of those. So don't think I will.
I'm just going to wear a pair of boots.
Honestly, I think what I want to wear is white combat boots. Because I wear combat boots every day. That's my shoe of choice. And I think white combat boots would be very me. And I think it would look good with any dress. Or good. My version of good. Which is the only version that counts on my wedding day.
Yeah, you tell.
Now this whole thing is flowers. I think we can just nix that right away.
Wait. Yep, gone.
Both of us decided we don't want flowers. Personally, I don't like flowers that get cut. So you basically kill a bunch of these flowers just for decoration. And for some reason that doesn't sit well with me. Maybe it's because I'm a huge tree hugger. I don't know. But we were talking about doing like natural elements like sticks and like painted sticks. Not like just go out in the woods and grab a bunch of sticks and throw them on the table, but like actually making things out of them.
We're not going to just go grab a bunch of random sticks and throw them on the table.
Or we talked about books, having like books as the centerpieces or something. We have a lot of different options, but flowers is a definite no. So we're going to end up saving, what did these people spend? $900, $200, $1,600. Wait, what's the cheapest? What's the cheapest wedding? What did they spend on flowers? $0. Cool, that's us.
Hey.
All right, so photography. Now that's something that's a sensitive subject with us because he'll get approached to photograph weddings because he's a professional photographer. And they're like, can you do my wedding for $200? What do you say to people who ask you to do their wedding for $200?
I apologize. Is that the down payment? No, it's more like, hey, you know, depending on how many hours you're needing and what you're actually wanting, we can discuss packages. And I never say yes or no, but $200 for estimated 5 hours of photography plus editing.
How much? Okay, so $200 for 5 hours is $40 an hour. How long does it take you to edit wedding photos? Because I know you said that was one of the lengthiest processes.
The hardest part is going through each one and choosing, because I'm also not one of those photographers that'll snap once and be done. I take multiple shots to make sure I get the best shot for that couple.
And that's what you should pay for when you pay for a photographer.
So I would say minimum another 8 to 10 hours easily on just finding the photos and then just basic touch-ups. That's not even like full-blown if they have acne, if they have dandruff. Oh, please don't have dandruff.
I watched him edit out every piece of dandruff from a headshot before. It was absolutely crazy. And so what you really get what you pay for, but you also have to pay for what you're getting. And when you tell a photographer, hey, for 5 hours plus the 8 to 10 or even more that it takes to edit, you're gonna pay him $10 an hour, less than minimum wage, to do something that not only does it take time and effort to do, but it also, he went to school for that skill set. You know, it's just really important that you give what it's worth. So that being said, we're gonna pay probably $0 for photography.
Wow. Yeah, and the reason being is one of my best friends is a photographer, and he always has said that he would do it for me on my wedding day for free.
As a wedding gift.
As a wedding gift. So he offered that to me. I did not ask.
But
now,
what would you pay for?
Oh, easily starting at $500.
Yeah.
Easily. Just a bit. We also don't want like craziness at our wedding. We just want photos of like just what's going on, and then a couple cute, you know, behind the scenes ones, and that's about it.
I think, having done a wedding before, I don't really think that I would want photography for like the reception or anything. I feel like just paying to have it for the ceremony makes a lot more sense to me, because anything that you do during the reception to get a good photo of it, it really has to be staged, and that's not the kind of reception we're having. We're having something a little bit more casual. So that's just not for us, and luckily, thankfully, your friend is giving that to us as a wedding gift. Otherwise, we would have had to budget about $500 for that, but we are very lucky. So if you guys have friends that you can reach out to and say, hey, as a wedding gift, would you do this for me? That might be okay. But honestly, I don't know if I'd even ask. I would wait for someone to offer, because they might think, oh, you're just hitting me up so I can do something for free. But if you're close enough to them that you feel comfortable enough to ask, do it. And the same thing's gonna go for, wait, what were you gonna say?
Oh, I was gonna say another thing you could do is you could also reach out to your local art school.
Oh yeah.
Because there's a lot of photo students, video students, and things like that that might be looking for additions to their portfolio, and they might want to take that chance to get their one of their assignments or something. So
Yeah.
that could be another option.
Yeah, and they, you should always still compensate them, but the rate will be much lower because they're new and they need it to build their resume. So, yeah, that's a great idea.
Some people might even do it just for food at the wedding.
Yeah, and if your friend wasn't available to do this, then I would probably do that because A, you're giving somebody the chance to do a wedding for their portfolio, and B, you're helping a college student pay for his classes. How about that? His or her classes. Or their classes, Yeah. Videography, we're actually pretty lucky as well because my brother is a professional videographer, as are you, and I'm sure one of you can just set up a camera.
Because it's not like we want this like full-blown edited thing. We
really
legitimately
don't.
just want a video of it to remember.
Yeah, and I don't want either you or my brother working during the wedding, so just having you guys set up a couple cameras so you can catch it at different angles. We can edit it later. It's fine. That's all I want. So again, $0. We're very lucky there. Save the dates, invitations, postage, programs, and other. Basically printed things. No, that's my answer. First of all, we are extremely lucky that he's an artist and I do graphic design. And so we can just create anything that we want. But we don't want to spend the money on printing it because A, neither of us actually read our mail. I mean, no, I read my mail. You don't read your mail. I get excited when I get like snail mail.
I get mail and I'm like, they're like, oh, you got mail. I'm like, okay. And then a week later, like, are you going to open this?
No, I love getting snail mail. It's so fun.
Yeah.
But I have a feeling that more people would respond to a digital invitation these days, and it would save a lot of money. And this could be something you guys could do. It would save so much money. It can cost you, what did people spend on stationery? Hold on. People can spend up to $350 on stationery? Yikes. So save a couple $100 and just make it digital. And there's lots of like little programs that you can use to make fun digital art.
There's a lot of free programs on the computer or
like
apps,
clip art and apps, and people don't need anything super fancy to know that they're invited to your wedding. They're just going to be excited that they're invited in the first place. So just be like, hey, wedding is this date, save the date, and then send them another email like a couple months later saying, okay, here's your official invitation. Tell me if you want fish or chicken, that kind of thing. So
I like it.
Yeah. So
I'm 100% on board with that because why pay a company to make these? Even if we were going to print them, we have that capability of making them and then printing them. All we'd have to do is buy the card stock and the envelopes.
Yeah.
But again, if I've gotten a wedding invite in the mail, I'm not gonna lie, and then I didn't realize what it was and didn't open it. So.
Oh man. So we're still at 400. So that's good. This is good. Ceremony. So day of coordinator.
Hired one.
I don't think I could let anybody else take that from me too. It's just, I'm such a control freak. I don't know if you guys have noticed on this channel, but I'm a big control freak. So I feel like I would have to be the one in charge of how everything's gonna go. But also, I think I would use that control freakness that day to make sure that everyone's just chill, because that's all I want.
Don't let me take control, otherwise I'll be like, yeah, we'll do that later.
He's a procrastinator, so he's not having a hand in that. The officiant. How much money will we spend on that?
Well, I'm sure my dad will want a really nice cup of coffee.
Okay, sure.
No, my dad is a pastor, and he once actually, my mom was like, "Do you think you would let Dad do it?" And I'm like, "Wait, yes, because that's awesome that my dad gets to be a part of that."
I'm so excited.
But
for that.
it's also free. So we'll add $5 for a cup of coffee.
Yeah, so okay, $4.05 for the cup of coffee. It's a cheap cup of coffee.
But yeah, he's super excited. He actually asked about it, and so again, we didn't ask someone to do something for free.
They just offered it, which is always a nicer way of doing it. But if you really need somebody's help because you just can't afford it, don't be afraid to ask if you know you can trust them not to take offense. And always start with, hey, I would always pay you if I could, but I'm reaching out to you because I need help. Will you help me? And I'm sure that they wouldn't be offended by that. So, venue fee. I hate to be like this lucky. Honestly, I feel guilty. But okay. You go ahead and then I'll explain.
Again, my dad's a pastor. Their church has my mom and his church that they, well, I guess the one that my dad works at, has a very beautiful space that they rent out to use for weddings.
It's got like a gorgeous fireplace. It looks very fall, honestly.
And
there's wooden beams everywhere. It's just beautiful.
Tables, everything. So it's beautiful, and it can seat up to 300 people, I think they said.
I just got a little nervous when every time you say 300.
Luckily, we're not going to have that many people, but
I hope not.
so it's more than likely going to be this much for us because of my dad's position and things like that.
And I'm so grateful for that. That has a good and a bad. So for those of you that are spending lots of money on your wedding and are paying for a venue, yeah, you have to pay for a venue, and that's not fun because these people spent, I mean, $8,500, $7,900. Honestly, that's pretty good. $3,000, $7,000. You can spend a lot of money for a venue. But you also get to choose your venue when you do that. I didn't get to choose the venue for this wedding. You did, but I feel like I compromised a little bit, and that's not as bad as it sounds. I never envisioned getting married in a church, ever, ever, ever. First of all, I'm Jewish. And second of all, I'm not the religious, like super religious type that would want to get married in a church. So I feel like I had to compromise a little bit, but I'm actually happy, so happy with this compromise, because not only are we not spending any money, but we get to get married somewhere that means everything to you and your family. And that absolutely just is whatever I needed doesn't matter, because that means everything to me, that you guys are going to have this beautiful place that means something to you as the spot where we get married.
Yeah.
So on one hand, did we get to hand select where we're going to get married? No. But does it fit our dream and more? Yes. So we, again, got very lucky. So we're still at $405. Maybe another cup of coffee for the other pastor. Okay, $410. These are still really cheap cups of coffee.
Right? Okay, we'll go to Florals. No.
Decorations.
One of the best parts about the decorations, or about this venue, already decorated. And
yeah.
One of the greatest parts is the senior pastor's wife actually decorates for the different seasons.
Yeah.
And makes it extra beautiful in that area that they have, because it's actually like a coffee type place that they have for the church. Like during service, you can go and get coffee or tea there.
So it'll be pre-decorated for fall. So,
and
hey.
It's already beautiful, like you said, with the giant fireplace and everything. And the one of the greatest parts about that is that we don't have to pay for any of that decorations. It's already set up to be this beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And
now, if we wanted to put a personal touch on it, we might do some DIY stuff. So I would say we could budget maybe $100 for. We want to do like sticks, right? We want to just paint sticks and put them in jars, and that'd be a centerpiece maybe. Or we need to get the books for the centerpieces that are made of books, or something like that. We might need a little bit of money to budget for that. Also, I'm sure you guys are hearing lots of doors, phones, cats. I'm at my mom's house. She's literally over there going, "I'm so sorry." And I'm like, "No, we are doing a vlog in your house. You do not need to be quiet."
You also might hear the rain.
Yeah,
It
it's
just started
pouring. This
raining.
is like the worst situation for a vlog, but I'm so happy to be at my mom's house hanging out and doing this vlog. She's literally making matzo ball soup for me right now. I'm so happy. So if you guys hear random sounds, just know that they are happy sounds of the cooking of matzo ball soup and the meowing of the cat that absolutely loves my mom. And it's about 4, so it's Florida-ing.
Yeah, it's Florida-ing right now.
It's about that time. So anyway, back to this list. So decorations, I would say about 100. We're not going to go crazy on decorations. Again, we're lucky that it's pre-decorated, but also we don't care about little things like chair covers and big, huge flower centerpieces, and
yeah, with that $100, we can get a couple like inexpensive like vases or whatever to put the sticks in or whatever.
Yeah, and I think I want candles.
Okay.
I think I really do want candles on every table. That's the only thing, because I just really want like that cozy fire kind of feeling. So, and I want them all to be scented like pumpkin spice latte just for you. You had me at pumpkin spice latte.
I was like,
So,
wait.
what's the theme of your wedding? Pumpkin spice latte.
Why this guy?
Yeah. So, okay, rentals. We won't have to rent anything. This means like a tent or table, chairs, anything you might have to rent. everything is inclusive with this venue, which I recommend. No matter if you're paying for it or it's free, if you can get a venue that's all inclusive, has tables and chairs as part of the package, possibly even as food as part of the package, do it, because A, you only have to pay one vendor, and usually it's a cheaper price because it's all packaged together. Oh, you hear that? That's the sound of matzo ball soup.
But that's the nice part, is because if you have to like contact a company that does like
Chair covers.
chairs and
Well, you'd have chair covers, and then you'd have chairs and tables, and then you'd
Yeah.
have the tent, and then you'd have the runner, and then you'd have the hoopah.
But yeah, like
We're not
the
having it.
chairs and table, you're gonna pay them, but then this other company, like you said, it's all packaged together. So when you start adding stuff together, you can start negotiating a percentage off or a discount.
Yeah, and
because of
usually
it.
they offer those discounts automatically. So
Also doesn't hurt to ask.
yeah, it never hurts to ask. But yeah, so I recommend that for sure. We've got music. Now, this is something that we were considering spending money on. I really wanted a live band.
And I wanted a DJ.
So we compromised by spending $0 and having an iPod.
Oh, I thought we agreed that I was gonna sing the entire time.
Nope. No, so we're gonna just have an iPod going, and we're just gonna. We already have a PA system because Noise Complaint has a PA, and we're driving up so we can bring it. And the church has a PA, so never mind. We don't even need to bring ours. But just set up an iPod and have a playlist going, and maybe designate one of your brothers to be in charge of making sure it's played.
Or we can just set it up like a playlist on my computer and just go from there.
Yeah, sure. And you have DJ equipment too, so basically you can DJ your own wedding, but like.
Just
come over. Let
hit
it go.
play and let it go.
Yeah, so we're going to be able to do that. And that came out of being unable to compromise with each other. Like, unable to, for one person to go, okay, we'll do what you want. Because I really wanted live music. He really wanted a DJ. And I don't want a DJ because they can be obnoxious. So, you're obnoxious sometimes. But we compromised with saying, well, why don't we make that not something that we spend money on? And an iPod going, or some kind of like computer just with a playlist, it's just as good. And then you have a little bit more control. Instead of going, hey, after this song, can you play? You just go over and press next.
Or you could have what you faced, and didn't the DJ play a song that you asked him not to?
Yes, the DJ played music I asked him not to play, and I asked him to get a specific song for me to dance with my mom to, and he got the wrong song. So, yeah. He's like, well, I couldn't download that off torrent. And I was like, I paid you.
You
Shouldn't
can't
you
go
have done?
and buy
You could have
it.
asked me. I could have given you the song.
Right? Like, you can't go and buy it.
Marriage license.
Oh, I don't know anything about this
I
one.
actually don't remember what it costs, so I'm just gonna probably say about $100.
Okay.
So let's go with 505, and hopefully it's less than that. But a marriage license
No,
is
we're at
something.
605, because $100 for the decoration.
Yes, 605. Yeah, marriage license is something you can't get away from.
Apparently,
so.
that's the legal aspect of
Yeah.
marriage.
Transportation. That's usually meant to be like from the ceremony to the reception, or from the reception to your hotel. Like a limo or a horse and carriage or a friggin' airboat. I don't know. You pick something.
My
Your canoe.
My brother has a really nice SUV.
Okay. No.
There we go.
I think for us, the transportation cost is going to be driving up to Ohio. I think that's going to be the biggest cost. But, you know, we would have done that to see his family around that time of year anyway. So for me, it's a null cost. We were going to spend the money anyway. We're just moving our trip to see family a month earlier or so.
Okay.
So I'm not counting that toward it. I'm saying we're reallocating that money from another time that we were going to spend it anyway.
Oh, yeah. We were just adjusting, so.
And seriously, I don't need a big fancy limo or a horse and carriage. I mean, honestly, maybe we'll roller skate. That could be fun.
I can just hop on my brother's back and he can carry me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'll hop on your other brother's back and you can carry me.
Nice.
One of them's getting off easy. I'm like nothing. All right, and then other, and I don't really know what that means. So venue fee, don't have to worry about that. Catering. This is where you can get really creative, because I know from my last wedding that you can spend thousands of dollars on food. Thousands. We both agreed that it's something we want to keep pretty casual. We don't want like a sit-down dinner. We don't want like a plated, this is your 3-course meal. We're just not 3-course meal in a fancy dress kind of people. I don't know if you can't tell by our attire, the way that we act. We're just not those kind of people. So we were thinking like nosh stations, like a PB&J bar and like a donut wall, and what else do we say?
Just
like
snacks,
like
not,
cheese and crackers kind of thing, but
just
like
little like finger
not
food
cheese.
things.
Yeah, but his mom was on the phone with us the other day and was like, well, what if I got the whole family together? Because she has like 3 sisters or something. Or
yeah, it's my mom and a couple of my aunts and my dad also. My dad likes to cook. But
yeah, and she said, what if we made a bunch of pasta? And I was like, you mean carbs? I'm in.
Yeah, and then we found out that the church already has all the warming stuff, because that was one of the things that we were concerned about, having to get all that also.
Yeah, and having to make sure that the food is not hot by the time people eat it, but the church already has that set, so we're fine with that. And sometimes your venue may have the ability for you to bring in your own home cooked food, and then A, you save so much money, and B, it's home cooked food. Like restaurant food is one thing, but something about like Grandma's fried chicken. And I realize we're vegan, but I'm talking about a wedding I went to years ago. My friends Gray and Walter, they got married. And I remember many things from that wedding, but the thing I remember most is Grandma's fried chicken. I think I ate my weight in that chicken. I wasn't vegan yet. And that was so good. I'd been to a million weddings by then. I'd had beautiful catered food. I'd had expensive crap. And I'm just like, that fried chicken though. And so I think home cooked pasta could really, and it's very us, it's just so us. And that could be something that you guys could do for yourselves and save so much money on your wedding.
I remember, like, food at weddings, I don't remember really like how good the chicken was or how good that was or this. I remember how the bread was.
Really?
I love bread. And,
me too.
And like, I went to this one wedding and they had jalapeno rolls.
Oh Lord.
Nobody was eating them.
Except you.
I ate like 15 of them.
That's a lot, even for me.
They were so good. They were. I guess they were big, but and the fact that my mom was like, "Yeah, we can do this," and the thing is that whenever my mom says that we can do this, she really means we can do this.
Yeah, and even if it's this, it's the fact that she offered to do that, and obviously we'll be paying for the ingredients of that. So I think we need to budget another for pasta, 100. Maybe 150?
What if we just make everybody ramen?
Well, let's go with 150 for food. No, because we want like donut stations and PB&J bar. Let's say 200 for food.
So we're at 705?
705. Let's say we want to budget 200 for food, and we want to stay with 200. Because I can coupon like crazy. Don't even try me. Musicians or DJ, we decided against it. Sound and lighting. We've got that, and the church does too, but noise complaint already has the whole lighting rig. I've got it. It's good. Bartender. We decided not to do an open bar. We are not going to do an open bar because A, we don't really drink, and B, it's so expensive. Like if I go back to these budgets, it doesn't say. Okay, so their food budget was probably like, oh my God, it doesn't even say food, but in their reception, it was like $8,500. I bet $5,000 of that was food, and another $2,000 of that was alcohol.
Oh yeah.
Like, it's crazy what you can spend on alcohol. And I also don't really want an open bar to the point where people might get a little crazy, because I've been there with like going to other people's weddings and people got crazy, and it's like, I just want it casual, and you can't be casual with a whole lot of hard liquor. So I feel like either we go back to the house and my brother makes roctaginos for everybody, or just for fun, or we just have wine. Maybe just offer some wine and start collecting now, and then just bring it with us. But yeah, I think we could save a lot of money on that. Liquor and beverages, same thing, save a lot of money on that. Wedding cake. So here's a great tip. You might know people in your life that would be willing and want to make you your wedding cake, and you could save so much money like that. Or you could forgo the wedding cake and just do like cupcake bar or cookies or something. But let's say you want a big wedding cake. Call every bakery and get their best price. It's because wedding cakes can cost a lot of money. And here's a big tip. Don't tell them it's for a wedding. They upcharge for weddings like crazy.
It's like a wedding.
Yeah,
edition.
Don't tell them it's for a wedding. Just say, I need a cake. Oh, well, what's it for? Well, I just need a cake. I need it to look like this. It's a birthday. It's an anniversary party. It's a party. I just need a cake. It needs to look like this. Oh, well, what do you want? It could look like a wedding cake. Just be like, no, it's for my very, very classy grandmother's birthday. Whatever.
Couple tiers, and you put your own topper on it.
Yeah, and you won't get the wedding upcharge that a lot of people charge. Some places don't do that, some places do. But in general, I would say just don't tell them it's for a wedding unless you need like the most beautiful, huge wedding cake. I've seen wedding cakes cost up to 10 grand. That's a lot of money on cream, sugar, and flour, okay? Just saying. And for us, it would be even worse because we're vegan, so we'd have to have a lot of substitutes, and vegan cakes can tend to be a little bit more expensive. His mom offered to bake our cake. So again, reach out to your family. See where you can get things and save money, because in the end, I'll remember this beautiful cake she made. I'm not gonna remember the actual cake. I may not remember and it won't matter. 10 years later, it won't matter, but I'll remember that your mom took the time to bake a cake. You know?
And it was, again, another one of the situations where my mom called me and was like, hey, I don't want to overstep, but what if I was able to make the wedding cake for you guys? And she had a couple ideas, and she was like, I don't want to overstep, and I want to make sure that it's something that Jen would want. And I was like, I can ask her or you can. And she goes, well, it doesn't matter. And so I let my mom ask.
It was awesome. The idea that she had was so beautiful, and she wanted it to reflect a little bit of my dad too, and your mom trying to include my dad in the wedding is just so freaking beautiful. You know, I love it. And so again, reach out to friends and family and see where you can get things for free. So we're still at 8.
Wait,
no, we said 200. So 805.
Yes, I think.
We're at 805.
4 for the clothes, 5 for the decorations, add another 200 for food, so 905.
What? That would be 705, but there was the decorations were
100, so that's...
And the marriage license was 100, so 805.
805. I can math, I swear.
All right, so we have tent rental. Tent rental, don't need a tent. Table rental, chair rental, linen rental, don't need any of that. Guest book. That might cost us about, I would say, 50, because we want to do something really cool. We want to do like either blank puzzle pieces that people can write on, and then we'll like put them together, we'll build the puzzle and then frame it. Or we want to do like, I thought about sheet music, that people could write on the sheet music, or we could do like Jenga. You talked about Jenga pieces, just something creative. I would say let's budget about 50 for that, just in case we see something really cool.
So 855?
855. For some reason, the guest book is really important to me, mostly because I'm just really sentimental. Transportation, don't need it. And then the last part, gifts and favors. I don't know what we would do for that. One idea that I had was if we do books as centerpieces, that people can take those home if they want to. They can choose the book that they want and take it home. But I didn't have favors at my last wedding, so I don't really think I would.
I think every wedding I've ever been to, I've been given mints and bubbles.
I don't feel like it's that important. Like my mom and brother went to a wedding last weekend, and the favors that they brought home are unused and still sitting on the counter. And I'm like, okay, that's cute, but like to me, it wasn't a necessary expense. So we looked at this whole list, we figured out what we wanted, what we needed, and what we didn't want. We don't want favors, we don't want a DJ or musicians. That we saved a lot of money. So I feel like a good budget, a top budget for this wedding, I would say is $1,000. So now
that gives us that little wiggle room if we need to spend a little more on food or something.
So this was, we have not talked about this before this video. You guys literally just witnessed us deciding on our wedding budget, but we didn't say this is what we have saved, so we should spend that. We said this is what we need for the wedding, and that's what we need to create an account and budget for.
Because that's how we handle it, and everybody does it differently.
Yeah.
You know, there's some people that are like, all right, well, I have a $10,000 budget, and they say you should spend 2.5% on this,
and this book goes
10%
into that.
on this, and there's nothing wrong with that because it gives you a guideline for what you want.
Yeah.
And we're going based on, we don't want this.
Since we don't want so many things, we wanted to look at what do we want. Let's figure out how much each thing costs and then figure out the total budget from there. So now you and I have to save $1,000. And that's not including like honeymoon or anything, but there will be a whole other video on that, a few videos on that because it is the age of COVID, so it's a very, very complicated process. But yeah, I feel a lot better having figured that out.
It's been definitely something on my mind because like we talked about, I know we were like, oh yeah, well we want this low budget, and then in my head I'm like, that's not possible, is it?
Every website that you go to says it's not possible, it's not possible. And we also plan on doing videos for you guys how to do a wedding under $5,000. under 1,000 and under 500. So you guys will see like tips and tricks on how to get like some of these things. This is what we want. Then we're gonna do generic videos on this is what you can get, this is what you might want, and this is how you can get it for under 5,000, under 1,000, under 500. So we'll be doing lots of helpful videos for you guys on that, using my past expertise, and then like you are so creative with ideas like the calling in art school, you know. So thank you guys so much for joining us for this video, and I am like dying for this video to be over because I can smell the matzo ball seasoning.
But thanks for hanging out with us. We really hope you that this helped you guys. That if you have any questions or any ideas that you're like, hey, I saw you said this, but what if you guys tried this?
Yeah, drop those comments down below. Please ask us questions, and if you want a video on something specific, please let us know, and then also help us with ideas, because you're new at this and it's been a while, and I'm trying to just start with fresh ideas and not think about what I did before.
And so I'm super excited that that you're on this journey with me, but that you guys are too.
Yeah.
So far, your guys' comments have been amazing.
Amazing.
And I know most of the responses have been coming from Jen on our channel. I just want to take a minute to say thank you guys so much. I know that I'm the worst at responding to those kind of things. It's like kind of checking my mail. But I know that she's been on top of it, and but it's
been a crazy week or two. I haven't been as on top of it as I want to, but don't worry, I'm getting to them. Sorry.
But we do read every single one of those comments, and
they make us smile.
Yeah, I'll be having a rough day at work, and I'll read them, and I'm like, thank you guys. So I just want to say thank you for all that and everything.
Yes.
You guys are amazing. But I am Safety Scissors.
And I'm Duct Tape.
We're out of here. Save that money.